Today on Till Vacuum Do Us Part. Hello guys, and welcome to Till Vacuum Do Us Part, and welcome to my whole house declutter and organize. I'm going to be sharing lots of tips with you guys in today's video. I love sharing videos like this so I can get you up and motivated, because there's nothing better than a decluttered, clean home. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight into today's video. The very first place I'm going to be working on is the dresser in our living room. This used to be a dresser, and then over time we've turned it into a TV stand. We've added feet to it. I do want to replace it, and I've kind of been on the hunt lately, but I'm not sure with what. And I want to make sure there's not a ton in here, so if I pick out something that doesn't have storage, I don't have just like a ton of things to get rid of. Just a quick little tip: just because you have a drawer or a closet or a cabinet does not mean it has to be filled with items. You're gonna see when I'm finished decluttering the space, not all the drawers are full, and they weren't to begin with. You can have empty drawers, you can have empty cabinets, so just keep that in mind as you're working on your home. I feel like we all have those areas in our homes, or even furniture pieces in our homes, that just kind of collects random things. None of it really makes sense. And all these drawers were filled with something different. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take a peek inside. So this top one I've organized before. It has like lighters, candles, remotes, chargers, all that kind of stuff in there. And the second one is just extra towels for our boys if it snows or it rains and they get wet outside. It's just an easy way to clean off their paws. And then those bottom ones were empty. These top two have some games in them. As Savannah gets older, we're going to clear those out, but right now I just want to have those on hand. And then I love keeping a vacuum close by for the living room, just like a handheld. And then that little binder right there has all of our DVDs in it. We don't watch them often, but when we do, that is our DVD player right there in the drawer. So you can just see from this small space everything I've taken out. Not everything I take out is going to be trashed or donated or sold. Some of it just needs to be put back into its home, but I want to pull everything out so you can see what I'm working with. Now we're in our powder room. It's our little guest bathroom right off our living room, and below the sink, it's always just been a little crazy. I've never spent too much time organizing it, and I did want to work on it. So for this space, I'm going to pull everything out. And if you're a beginner declutter organizer, the best thing you can do is pull everything out, because you're always shocked how much you have in spaces, and you just get a visual idea of how much you have and do you need it. If you just kind of move a few things around, sometimes you miss things that you didn't see that were like underneath it or crammed beside it. So definitely just take the time to pull everything out so you can declutter what you need and then organize as you put it back away. I like to change out our hand towels very often in the guest bathroom, just because you'll have a lot of different people touching them. I also have paper towels out just in case somebody would feel more comfortable using that. Just a quick little tip, I share this a lot. If you're looking for cute bathroom hand towels, grab kitchen hand towels. They're always so much like prettier and have more detail, and they still dry quickly because they're made for your kitchen. So I always pick those up when I'm at like Ross or Home Goods. and then I just folded them and put them in that box. I had cleaning supplies in it, but I noticed that just wasn't working, and then the hand towels were all over the place underneath the cabinet, so I think this setup's gonna work a little bit better for us. And just a little tip, anytime you're in your guest bathroom, make sure there is plenty of toilet paper in there. You never want a guest to run out. So I always try to keep like 1 on the holder and then 3 extra underneath the sink. I also like to keep cleaning products under every sink in my house. You can get them from Jaws. I have a coupon code and a link down below my description box. You can get them from Walmart, Target, Dollar Tree, whatever your budget is. Just grab them and keep them underneath there because you're just more likely to clean if you're not like running around looking for the Windex or looking for the sink cleaner. If it's just there, you're going to grab it, you're going to clean it real fast and move on. So I've always found that tip helpful. But I did decide to just kind of start a pile so you can see everything that I'm pulling out of these spaces. It's just a visual. I think people see my house and think it's perfect, but if I can find all the stuff I found today, that means you can definitely find it in your home too. You can declutter. There may be trash in there. It may just be items that need to go back to its homes, but I wanted to put it all here just so you guys could visually see it. We can make it together. What goes up must come down. Now, I will say I'm good about decluttering. I feel like I almost do it every single week. If I'm putting something on and I don't like the way it fits, I'll throw it out in my garage in a donation bin. Stuff like that I'm really good about. But when it comes to like closets, like right here in our front entryway closet or in drawers like our TV stand, sometimes those items get missed and I forget even what we have in there. And I forget to do it because their spaces aren't cluttered, but they still need to be taken care of. So just because this closet isn't like busting at the seams, it doesn't mean I don't need to go in there and just get rid of the pieces we don't need. Right now I'm going to work on a lot of like our winter gear. We went through winter, we went through some snows. I know what we used, I know what we didn't use, so it's time to go through your pieces like that. If they have holes in them, if they have tears in them, if they don't have the matching set, it is time for it to go. Seems like nothing comes for free, yeah. And it won't take a lot. If you really do want a decluttered and organized home, it's one of those things you're gonna have to like actively work on. It's kind of like getting out of debt. Once you're out of debt, you can't just go back and start spending a ton of money again, or you're gonna get right back into debt. So you have to keep budgeting, you have to keep watching your finances. Keeping your house organized and decluttered is the same way. You're gonna do a lot of work getting it there, and then you have to maintain it. Now, maintaining it isn't that hard. You just have to kind of maintenance it every once in a while. It's like owning a vehicle. You have to get oil changes and occasionally get new tires. So it's just kind of working on it so it always stays fresh. There's not a lot of stuff in it that you're not using. Only keep the pieces that you're like loving or that you use. Stuff like that can stay, but if you just have a lot of excess, it's time to declutter it. Move it along, sell it, make some extra money, donate it, but let somebody else use it that needs it. There's also a nice little perk too. The less you have and the more organized you are, it saves you so much time. You don't have to clean as often and your house always looks clean. You're not wasting your time searching for things. So when you come in and you put your keys away on a key hook, you're never searching for your keys last minute and running late to your kid's soccer game or to work or whatever it is. When you can't find your shoes or a certain jacket or your purse, if everything has a home, if you're decluttered and organized and everything has a home, you know where it is, and it just saves you so much time and stress. So I highly encourage you to get your house under control. It has been a huge game changer for us. Here are all the items that I pulled out of that tiny little closet. To me, it is so satisfying and so rewarding to get rid of things. Like, the more I can get rid of, like, I don't know, the happier I get and the load gets lighter. I don't even know how to explain it. I know at first it can be really hard. We can get really attached to stuff. But if you start thinking about it, it's just stuff. It's just items. So if it's not bringing you joy, if you're not using it, if you're not wearing it, especially if it's like old or worn or has holes, it is time to let it go. It's okay to keep a few like keepsakes, but I think a lot of us just have too much stuff. But now we're gonna go into my laundry room, and I will say, just with the time that we live in, we probably are keeping more food on hand and cleaning products. All of that is okay. I totally get it. It is smart to be prepared. But occasionally I need to go in and organize it. So I keep a lot of my cleaners right here above my washer and dryer. It gets messy. So just coming in here once a week or once a month and just like tidying it up, the space feels so much better. I'm reminded of what I have so I don't order it later. So just doing little things like that really will just save you time and money. Another thing that's really good to declutter is any items that like bring you bad vibes. Maybe it has memories attached to it that every time you look at that piece, it just brings back that feelings you don't want to feel. Let that stuff go. If it's an ex-boyfriend, if it's just a bad event or a bad time in your life, if you look at something and it does not bring you joy, it brings you down, get rid of it as quickly as you can. Now we're gonna move over to the other side of the room. I like to call this space more of the mud room, and the other side's like the laundry room. But I love having these bins. I'll have them linked for you. They're off Amazon. I had someone tell me that the bottom will scratch, so I just hot glued like felt onto them, and I haven't had any issues at all. It's even like on a painted surface. But I love to have all of these labeled. So I have some for medicine, first aid, vacuum attachments. Each one of my boys has one. We have just like a junk bin. So I do like to occasionally go through there and just declutter them. Anytime I touch the boys' like leash, they come straight for me. So George heard me, and so I always feel bad because they think they're getting like either a walk or a treat. If your dogs are listening, I'm so sorry that I said those two words. But basically, George ran in there, and so I gave him a treat, and then Tiger's gonna come in a second and get his. So I did replace the wreath in here. Obviously this isn't like a decluttering tip, but I like it so much better. I've kind of been switching over all of my like plant greens from being like a really dark like bright green to like softer greens, and I love it so much. So I found this one at Target. So if you're on the hunt for something like that, I was just gonna go ahead and share it because I know one of you will notice. Once again, everything that I'm pulling out of spaces, I'm just gonna pile it right here so you have a visual at the end of the video how much I was able to pull out. Once again, some of this is trash, some of this is gonna be donated, some of these items just need to be put back in the right home. So I wanted just to put it there so you guys can see it here in a little bit. But now I'm gonna glance through these top bins, but I don't think I have to touch anything just because they're pretty much good to go. I'm not in them all that often.
Everything's better now. somehow. All I know is that things change. We find a way to make it through. 'Cause all we know is that things change, but it's not so bad with you. White knuckles on the way down, but my friends are all around. White knuckles.
If you're getting organized, bins are going to be your most favorite item, so just keep that in mind. You can find all sorts of styles. But now we're going to head into our master bedroom. I like to go through my closet often, but it had been a while since I had been through my dresser drawers. I will say I only have 3 drawers right here, and then Chase has the other 4, so I'm not going to touch those if you're wondering why. I'm just going through my drawers, and then I'm going to also take you over into my nightstand. When you're going through your drawers, think about what you're actually wearing. I know all of it looks great when you're going through and trying to declutter, but which nightgowns do you actually sleep in? You're probably sleeping in like 3 or 4, and the rest of the drawer you're not really using. Think about like your colors. Like I used to have a ton of colorful nightgowns and I never wore them just because I like neutrals. And so finally one day it clicked of like, hey, I just need to get rid of these, and I've never missed them since. So think about the fit. If you wear it and it's not comfortable and that's not something you want to sleep in, think about all those little items so you're not just storing things in your house that you're not using. Now we're gonna head over to my nightstand. This is where I keep like all of my house shoes, so I was just organizing the ones I was going to keep in the bottom drawer, but pulling out the ones that I no longer needed, and then I'm also going to work on my top drawer as well.
Everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too.
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I always find like the most random things in my nightstands. Like I have hair clips, I have retainers, Kleenexes, phone chargers, phone cases, and then you have books, you have chapstick, lotion. I don't know. I just feel like it's always like the Mary Poppins bag, so I like to go through that and just declutter occasionally. But here's the space. Even though it looks just the same because I had decluttered inside drawers, it really does feel better. So if you go declutter a space you can't see and you walk back in that room, I promise you're still gonna notice it because you just know it's better. But now we're gonna head into our master bathroom, and I'm gonna go through my drawers in here so I can just go through all my products and make sure there's not anything I'm not using.
Yeah, that really makes me wanna speak my mind.
Okay, and a decluttering tip is do it often. So I just did a major spring clean in all of these areas, and I'm still finding a ton. So sometimes the first time you go through, you let something slide, you're not as ruthless, maybe you think you're gonna wear it again, but the second time it may not make the cut. And then the third time, you may let something else go. So just doing it pretty often, it kind of trains you to letting things go that you don't need, and then you're more likely to get rid of pieces. So if you're here and you're like, Ashley, I already decluttered with you a month ago, still go do it again because I bet you will find more pieces. I was ruthless in my closet and I got rid of so many clothes, but I went back in here today and still had pieces to get rid of.
Yeah, I really hope you love me too. 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 Yeah, I really hope you love me too.
If you missed any of my last declutter videos, you can always go back and check those out. They're always full of tips and tricks, but I will say one thing that I mention is decluttering your wardrobe right during season changes, because you know what you wore. So go through all your winter clothes, you know what you put on, you know what you didn't like, you know what didn't fit, and do that while it's fresh in your head. It's hard to do it like right in the middle of summer because you're more likely to be like, yeah, I might use that next winter. But if you just are coming out of winter like me here in Oklahoma, you know what you wore and what you didn't. So this is a great time to declutter your wardrobe.
If someone's pouring up a drink, I'm calling shawty. I'm gonna find a crown so I can put it on me. Swinging from the chandeliers, I won't be sorry. I got a feeling I'm gonna crash into this party.
To help you stay motivated, even if you're not filming this, if you're just doing this for yourself, start a pile in your house like I did. It is so rewarding, and I feel like it keeps you going because it's like, okay, how much bigger can I get this? Now, if you're going to do it, you might go ahead and break it up where you have a pile for trash, a pile for donations, and like a pile to sell. It'll make it easier at the end, so you're not having to go through every piece and decide what you're getting rid of. But I highly suggest doing that because it's just visual to you. You can see you're making progress. You get like proud of yourself, and it makes you want to do more. It makes you want to grow it. So even if you're not filming it, definitely start a pile somewhere and just see how big you can get it.
It's all I wanna do right now. Oh, everybody will be on me. Wanna join me when I take a shot. I'll be the center of attention like I was some kind of astronaut. Cause I'm shooting for the moon tonight, and I got a feeling I'm gonna crash some stupid party. Tear the ceiling down in front of everybody.
So I've mentioned in the past too, do this with a friend. Motivate each other, and then take out the items that you're getting rid of and like trade them with some of your girlfriends. You're gonna have decor pieces, you're gonna have clothes that you're not using and you're not loving, but they may want it. That may be the thing they have on their list they're saving up for. So it's really fun to do stuff like that if you have like close girlfriends, or if you have sisters or family or sister-in-laws. It gets you motivated, plus you get some new pieces out of it when you take some of their items they're no longer using. Okay, now I have to start sorting through this mess. Like I said, in hindsight, I probably should have started piles. So if you're gonna do this, have piles, have tubs, have boxes, whatever makes it easier for you. I was just throwing it all in a pile, but that's okay. It made it more fun and exciting to watch this video so you could see everything that I was getting rid of. But now I'm just grabbing bags, and I'm gonna start pulling out all the stuff that needs to be donated so I can throw it in the back of my car. I'm also pulling out just a few items that I didn't want to get rid of. They were just in the wrong areas, so I'm gonna put those away. And then I'm gonna also pull out the pieces that are just like trash and nobody wants, and I'll get rid of those as well. You can also host a garage sale, so if you have a ton to get rid of, you can make some money back to buy a few pieces that you do love. So get rid of all those items that you're not using, sell them, make the money, and then buy something that you are wanting or needing on your list. I always love doing that. I actually have a video on how to have a garage sale. It's way back in the day, but I share with you tips and tricks on how to have the best garage sale, so you can always check that out if you're a newbie and want to make some money that way. Another thing to remember to declutter is like your seasonal holidays. Sometimes we throw those like in the backs of closets or up in our attics or out in the garage. Definitely go through those occasionally. It's kind of smart to do it when you're decorating for your house and you have the Easter tub down. If you have decor in that tub that you're no longer using, get rid of it then, or you're never going to remember to do it. I always do that with Christmas decor. I feel like us with Christmas can just get overwhelming. We all have these tubs, we have all these different decorations. If you're not using it and you're not saving it for like a future child or something like that, it's definitely best to get rid of it during the season. But here is all the stuff that I'll be donating and getting rid of. It feels so good. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you got some motivation to work on your house. I hope you have a wonderful week. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button if you're new here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.